Listen closely. Most people are losers, not because they lack talent, but because they are terrified of the dark. When they trip and fall, they cry to the heavens, asking, "Why me?" They want comfort. They want a participation trophy. They want to be told that it's okay to fail. I am here to tell you something different. Failure is not a setback. It is a winnowing. In my time, the brutal, beautiful streets of 15th century Florence, if you failed and stayed down, you didn't just lose a job or a follower count. You lost your head. You lost your family's legacy. Niccolò Machiavelli, my dear friend and mentor, watched empires crumble because leaders were too soft to embrace their scars. Your failures are not mistakes. They are the only time you are actually seeing the world as it truly is. While everyone else is dreaming, you are being baptized in reality. Do you want to be a sheep, or do you want to be the one who owns the flock? If you want the crown, you have to stop running from the fire. You have to learn how to use the ashes to build your fortress. Machiavelli taught us a secret that most modern gurus are too scared to say. Life is a war between Fortuna and Vert. Fortuna is a woman, unpredictable, wild, and often cruel. She is the luck that brings a sudden storm to wreck your ship, or a sudden market crash to empty your pockets. You cannot control her. If you rely on her, you are a slave. Vert, however, is your strength. It's your grit. It's your ability to look at a disaster and say, "I can work with this." Machiavelli observed that most people are only successful when Fortuna is kind. But the moment she turns her back, they collapse. They have no foundation. But the man of Vert, he uses the peaceful times to build dams and dikes. So when the river of failure overflows, it doesn't drown him, it powers his mills. We are going to stop treating your flops, your breakups, and your rejections like tragedies. We are going to treat them like intellectual gold. We are going to strip away your ego and replace it with a cold, calculated strategy for dominance. Are you ready to stop being a victim of fate and start being a master of chaos? Tactic number 1, the anatomy of the scar. Machiavelli once noted that a prince who does not understand the art of war is a man waiting for his own funeral. In the 15th century, we didn't have feedback loops. We had surviving an ambush. When you fail, when that business venture goes to zero, or when you get ghosted by someone you thought was the one, most people retreat to their bedrooms to lick their wounds. They try to forget. They want the pain to go away. That is your first fatal mistake. Success is a liar. When you succeed, you think it's because you're a genius. You ignore the luck, the timing, and the flaws in your plan. Success makes you fat, lazy, and arrogant. But failure? Failure is the only time the world is being 100% honest with you. It is showing you exactly where your armor is thin. If a wall in your fortress collapses during a siege, do you cry? No. You look at the stones. You realize the mortar was weak. You realize the ground underneath was soft. Machiavelli knew that a scar is not a sign of weakness, but a map of where the enemy cannot hurt you again. In modern times, your greatest fear is looking stupid. You're afraid of the L. You're afraid of people seeing you fail on social media or in your career. Machiavelli would laugh at your cowardice. In The Prince, he explains that it is better to be feared than loved. But above all, one must avoid being despised. You are only despised when you are weak and indecisive. When you fail publicly and you don't hide, you signal to the world that you are unbreakable. When you stand in the wreckage of your embarrassment and you keep moving, you gain a terrifying kind of power. People realize that if a total collapse didn't stop you, nothing will. You become the predator because you've already survived the worst the environment could do to you. Machiavelli often wrote about new princedoms, territories won by someone who wasn't born into royalty. These leaders have the hardest time because they have to change the laws and the culture. Your failure is the new princedom. It is a blank slate. The old version of you, the one who was comfortable and mediocre, is dead. Good. Let him rot. You must now act like a conqueror in your own life. Use the data from your failure to rebuild your laws. Did you fail because you trusted a friend? New law: information is currency. Don't give it away for free. Did you fail because you were lazy? New law: discipline is the only hedge against fortuna. You need to develop what we call the cold eye. This is the ability to look at your failure as if it happened to someone else. Remove your feelings. Machiavelli didn't care about feelings. He cared about results. If you lost money, don't say I'm a failure. Say, the capital was misallocated due to a lack of market research. See the difference? One is a weight around your neck. The other is a problem to be solved. In the 15th century, if we lost a battle, we didn't write poems about our sadness. We looked at the terrain. We looked at the cavalry. We looked at the supply lines. We found the hole in the strategy, and we plugged it with the blood of our enemies. Your failure is your reconnaissance by fire. You sent your troops forward, and they got hit. Now you know exactly where the hidden cannons are. Most people would pull back and go home. But you? Now that you know where the cannons are, you know exactly where to strike. Think about the creator who posts 100 videos, and they all flop. The sheep thinks, I'm not cut out for this. The Machiavellian thinks, I have just conducted 100 experiments on what the algorithm hates. I am now 100 steps closer to what it loves than the person who is still planning their first post. Every no you get in a job interview or a sales pitch is a free lesson in human psychology. You are learning what people value, what they fear, and what they are willing to pay for. You are gaining virtue while your competitors are still playing it safe. The world is a giant chessboard, and most people are playing with their eyes closed. Your failure just forced your eyes open. It hurt, didn't it? Good. That sting is the feeling of your illusions dying. The ruthless truth is this: you cannot control the wind, but you can absolutely control how you set your sails. And you only learn how to set sails during a storm, never in a calm sea. You have the map now. You know where the traps are. You know where you are weak. This is the beginning of your unbreakable mental strength. But knowing where the traps are is only half the battle. If you want to actually win, you have to know how to handle the people who are watching you fall. Because while you are rebuilding, the vultures are circling, and you're about to learn how to clip their wings. Tactic number 2, the shield of perception. Machiavelli wrote that everyone sees what you appear to be, but few experience what you really are. In the wake of a failure, your greatest enemy isn't the loss of money or status. It is the judgment of the mediocre. When you fail, the world looks at you differently. Your friends offer pity, which is just a polite way of feeling superior. Your enemies gloat. The onlookers wait for you to slink away in shame. This is where you seize control of the narrative. Most of you fail and immediately try to apologize for it. You want people to know you tried your best. You want to explain yourself. Stop. Machiavelli understood that a prince who seeks to be loved by everyone eventually becomes a slave to everyone. By trying to justify your failure to the public, you are handing them the gavel. You are letting them be the judge of your worth. Failure is your opportunity to kill the nice person inside you who craves validation. When you fail and you refuse to act ashamed, you confuse people. Shame is a tool of social control. If you refuse to feel it, that tool breaks. You become unmanageable. In the 15th century, a leader who could lose a province and still walk into a room like he owned the continent was a man people feared. They thought, what does he know that we don't? After a disaster, the urge to talk is a sign of weakness. You want to vent on social media. You want to tell your side of the story. Machiavelli would tell you to shut your mouth. Silence is a fortress. When you fail and say nothing, you create a vacuum. People will fill that vacuum with their own projections. If you remain calm and silent, they will assume you have a plan B. They will assume this failure was perhaps a calculated sacrifice. In my time, we call this sprezzatura. the art of making the difficult look easy and the disastrous look intentional. If you lose your job, don't complain about your boss. Simply disappear, sharpen your blade, and reappear later with a better position. Let them wonder how you did it. Never let them see the sweat. If you must speak, you do not speak of failure. You speak of refinement. Machiavelli noted that a wise prince must be a great simulator and dissembler. You aren't lying, you are managing perception to maintain your power. You didn't fail at your startup. You extracted the high-value data and moved your capital to a more fertile sector. You didn't get dumped. You concluded a partnership that no longer served the expansion of your interests. This isn't about ego, it's about frame control. If you accept the failure label, you lose your social leverage. If you frame it as a strategic move, you keep your seat at the table. People follow those who act like they are winning, especially when the world thinks they are losing. Failure is the ultimate diagnostic tool for your social circle. Machiavelli warned that men will always prove untrue to you unless they are kept honest by constraint. When you are on top, everyone is your friend. When you hit the ground, look around. Who stops calling? Who starts giving you realistic, depressing advice? Who suddenly has no time for you? These are your vultures. In the 15th century, we would mark these people. We wouldn't fight them, not yet. We would simply take note. Failure gives you a list of who is loyal and who is a parasite. This information is worth more than the money you lost. You have just been given permission to prune your garden. Without failure, you would have spent your whole life feeding people who would eventually stab you in the back. Failure forced them to show their daggers early. Thank Fortuna for this gift. Now you know who to bring into your new kingdom and who to leave in the ruins. There is nothing the world loves and fears more than a resurrection. If you never fail, you are just a lucky guy. But if you fall, get mocked, disappear, and then return stronger than ever, you become a myth. You become the man who cannot be killed. Machiavelli observed that the most stable states were often those that had survived a great internal crisis. Why? Because the people knew that the state was resilient. By handling your failure with cold, unapologetic grace, you are building an unbreakable brand. You are telling the market, your peers, and your rivals, I have seen the bottom, and it wasn't enough to hold me. This creates a psychological edge that winners who have never struggled can never match. They are terrified of the dark. You have already lived there. If you get canceled or you flop in the eyes of your peers, your instinct is to hide. Wrong. Walk into the room, post the photo, do the work. If you act like nothing has changed, the people who are ready to pounce will hesitate. They only attack the wounded. If you don't act wounded, they assume you're still dangerous. Machiavelli knew that the lion cannot protect himself from traps, and the fox cannot defend himself from wolves. You must be both. When you fail, use the fox's cunning to hide your pain and the lion's spirit to maintain your presence. Failure didn't take your power, it only took your stuff. Your power is in how you carry yourself while the stuff is gone. If you can keep your head while the crowd is laughing, you have already won the psychological war. But remember, perception is a shield, but a shield cannot kill an enemy. To truly take back what is yours, you must understand how to use your new emptiness as a weapon. Because now that you have lost everything, you have the one thing your enemies are terrified of. You have nothing left to lose. Tactic number 3, the freedom of the ruins. Machiavelli understood a truth that makes modern men tremble. The man who has everything to lose is a coward. He is careful, he is conservative. He hesitates because he is protecting his precious reputation, his precious comfort, and his precious status. But you? Fortuna has already stripped you bare. She has done her worst. This is not a tragedy, this is your liberation. In The Prince, Machiavelli discusses how much easier it is to hold a state that has been accustomed to living under a prince than a free state that has been conquered. Why? Because the people in a free state have a memory of liberty and they will never rest. When you fail, you become a free state. You are no longer bound by the expectations of your boss, your parents, or your social circle. They already think you failed. The worst-case scenario has already happened, and look at you. You are still breathing. This makes you the most dangerous person in the room. You can take risks that your successful competitors would never dream of. You can pivot your entire career in a day. You can speak the truth that everyone else is whispering. While they are playing not to lose, you are playing to win. Most people spend their lives pouring water into a leaky bucket because they've already poured so much in. They stay in bad relationships, failing businesses, and dead-end jobs because of time invested. Machiavelli had no patience for this sentimentality. He knew that a leader must be willing to burn a bridge if the land on the other side is poisoned. Failure is the fire that burns those bridges for you. It forces you to stop investing in a losing hand. It clears the sunk cost from your ledger. Use this moment to look at your life with the cold eyes of a mercenary. What was holding you back? What obligations were you fulfilling just out of habit? Failure gives you a get-out-of-jail-free card for your past. Use it. Do not rebuild the old house. Use the old bricks to build a war machine. Machiavelli tells the story of Agathocles the Sicilian, a man born in the gutter, the son of a potter, who became king of Syracuse. How? By being more ruthless and more daring than those born into power. Because Agathocles started with nothing, he didn't care about the proper way to do things. He didn't wait for permission. When you are at zero, proper behavior is a luxury you cannot afford. This is the time for audacity. If your business failed, don't just look for a job. Pitch the biggest competitor in the industry on a radical new idea. If you lost your social standing, don't beg for it back. Start a new movement that mocks the old one. The winners are locked in a cage of their own success. You are outside the cage, in the wild, with a knife in your hand. When you have resources, you solve problems with money. When you have no resources, you are forced to solve problems with intelligence. Failure triggers a survival intelligence that success puts to sleep. Machiavelli noticed that the greatest innovations in warfare often came from the side that was outnumbered. They had to be smarter. They had to use the terrain. They had to be foxes. Your failure has activated your brain's survival mode. You are now noticing opportunities you were too comfortable to see before. You are leaner. You are faster. You are hungrier. A hungry wolf hunts better than a fat dog. Embrace the hunger. It is the fuel of your vert. Look at the most successful people in your modern world. Almost all of them have a rock-bottom story. Why do they tell it? Because it gives them a zero-stakes advantage. When you have nothing, you can experiment. You can post that cringe content that might go viral. You can cold email billionaires. You can move to a new city. What's the worst that can happen? You'll fail? You've already done that. Failure has removed your social friction. You are now a ghost in the system, invisible, unpredictable, and capable of striking anywhere. Machiavelli believed that the aim of the exercise of arms is to keep the men disciplined and to make them stand the heat and the cold. Your failure is your training ground. You are learning that the end of the world isn't actually the end. You are developing a calloused mind. While your peers are having mental breakdowns over a mean comment or a bad quarter, you are sitting there smiling because you've survived a total collapse. This hardening is your greatest asset. It allows you to stay calm when everyone else is panicking. And in the game of power, the calmest person always wins. The ruthless truth is this: most people are paralyzed by the fear of falling. But once you've hit the ground and realize you didn't break, you are free. You have reached the level of zero stakes, and that is where true power begins. But don't get too comfortable in the ruins. A prince does not stay in the dirt. He uses the dirt to hide his movements. Because while everyone thinks you are finished, you are actually moving into their blind spot. And tactic 4 is where we show you how to strike from the shadows. Tactic number 4, the cloak of the fallen, strategic invisibility. Niccolò Machiavelli observed that men are so simple and so much conditioned by their present needs that a deceiver will always find someone who lets himself be deceived. When you fail, the world treats you like a corpse. They stop guarding their secrets around you. They stop seeing you as a threat. They turn their backs to you to focus on the real winners. This is your invitation to enter the shadows. Machiavelli often spoke of the fox and the lion. While the lion roars and draws all the arrows, the fox slips through the tall grass unnoticed. When you are successful, everyone is looking for a reason to tear you down. You have a target on your back. But when you have failed, that target disappears. People become arrogant in your presence. They brag, they show their cards. They let their guard down because they think you are out of the game. Do not correct them. If people think you are broken, let them. If they think you've given up, encourage the delusion. Machiavelli knew that the most successful blow is the one the enemy never saw coming because they didn't even think they were in a fight. Use this period of social death to gather intelligence. Watch who is actually moving the pieces. Learn the landscape while you are invisible. A prince who builds his fortress in the middle of a busy square invites sabotage. A prince who builds in the hidden valley finishes the walls before anyone knows he's moved a single stone. Your failure has given you the gift of privacy. In our modern world, everyone feels the need to announce their progress. They post their day in the life, their goals, and their hustle. Machiavelli would call this idiocy. Why tell the world you are rebuilding? To get a few likes from people who secretly want you to stay down? No, you must build in total silence. Let your comeback be a finished product, not a work in progress. When you finally emerge, the sheer scale of your growth will paralyze your rivals. They won't have time to react because you've already won the territory. Machiavelli admired leaders who knew how to play the long game. Think of Cyrus the Great, who allowed his enemies to think they were safe and superior until the very moment he struck. If you are in a career slump or a social setback, use it to bait your enemies. Act a little more defeated than you actually are. Ask for advice from the people you intend to surpass. This feeds their ego and makes them feel like mentors. While they are busy patting themselves on the back for helping the poor, failed version of you, you are extracting their methods, their contacts, and their weaknesses. It is a ruthless exchange. You give them the feeling of superiority, and they give you the keys to the kingdom. When a state is conquered and rebuilt, Machiavelli advised that the new prince should extinguish the line of the ancient prince. In modern terms, your failure allows you to cut ties with the old guard, the people and habits that led to your downfall, without the social friction of an argument. Because you failed, people will naturally drift away. Let them go. This is your chance to purge your court. You don't have to explain why you aren't hanging out with losers anymore. They've already stopped calling you. This invisibility allows you to curate a new, elite circle in secret. By the time the world sees you again, you will be surrounded by a completely different class of people, and your old critics won't even have your new phone number. Think of the entrepreneur whose public project flopped. Instead of trying to fix a broken brand in public, they start a new, anonymous venture. They use a different name, a different niche, and all the reconnaissance by fire they learned from their first failure. Because they aren't tied to their old identity, they can take massive risks. They can iterate faster. They don't have to worry about brand consistency. Then, once the new venture is making millions, they reveal themselves. The world calls it a miracle comeback. Machiavelli calls it strategic invisibility. While you are invisible to the world, you must be hyper-visible to yourself. Machiavelli emphasized that a prince must read histories, and consider the actions of excellent men. Use your time in the shadows to become a scholar of your own mistakes. Since no one is inviting you to the parties or the important meetings, you have 14 hours a day to study, train, and plot. The winners are busy maintaining their image. You are busy maintaining your virtue. When the two finally clash, the person who spent their time on image will be crushed by the person who spent their time on substance. The ruthless truth is this: fame is a cage, and success is a spotlight that blinds you. But failure? Failure is the dark alleyway where you can sharpen your blade in peace. Enjoy the silence while it lasts. Use the cloak of the fallen to move into position. You are no longer a victim. You are a ghost in the machine, and the machine has no idea you are about to take control of the gears. But preparation in the dark is only useful if you know how to strike when the light returns. You have the intelligence. You have the invisibility. Now you need to learn how to turn your old wounds into a new kind of authority that people cannot help but obey. Tactic number 5, the alchemy of the scar, converting trauma into authority. Machiavelli wrote that it is much safer to be feared than loved. But there is a level of power even higher than fear, respect born of resilience. In the 15th century, a captain who had never lost a battle was respected, but a captain who had been captured, tortured, escaped, and then returned to conquer his captors was worshipped. People saw him as someone favored by the gods, or someone who had conquered the gods themselves. Most people live in a state of constant, low-level anxiety about what if? What if I lose my money? What if my reputation is ruined? Because you have already lived through the what if, you possess a unique form of social capital. You are a traveler who has returned from the underworld. When you speak about risk, you aren't quoting a textbook, you are speaking from the gut. Machiavelli observed that the people are always deceived by the appearance of things. By framing your failure as a necessary descent, you transform yourself from a loser into a prophet. You become the only one qualified to lead others through the dark because you are the only one who knows the way out. In a negotiation, the man who tries to hide his flaws is defensive and weak. But the man who puts his scars on the table first is terrifying. If you are pitching a new client or starting a new relationship, don't wait for them to find out about your past failures. Own them. Say, I lost it all in 2024. I saw exactly how the system breaks, and I saw exactly where I was weak. That is why I am now the only person you can trust to handle this project, because I've already paid the price for the lessons everyone else is still waiting to learn. This is radical transparency as a power move. It signals that you are no longer a slave to your ego. It makes you appear bulletproof. If you can talk about your own collapse with a cold, steady smile, what could a competitor possibly do to rattle you? Machiavelli famously admired Cesare Borgia for his ability to use cruelties well applied. He would enter a city, execute the corrupt leaders who were making the people miserable, and then provide the people with peace and law. The people were at once astounded and satisfied. Your failure is your cruel period. Use the lessons you learned during your darkest moments, the ruthlessness, the skepticism, the cold calculation, to provide value that nice people can't. Because you've been betrayed, you are the best at spotting a mole. Because you've been broke, you are the best at cutting waste. You are taking the poison of your trauma and distilling it into a medicine for your future kingdom. In the modern landscape of social media, everyone is faking perfection. It is a sea of plastic. When you stand up and say, I failed, I was humiliated, and I am still here, you create a gravitational pull. People are tired of the winners who were born on third base. They want to follow the person who climbed out of the pit. Machiavelli knew that the masses are drawn to strength, but they are bound to the strength that has been tested by fire. Your failure is the proof of work that makes your current authority unbreakable. Every billion-dollar tech company has a pivot story, a moment where they were days away from bankruptcy or their original product flopped. They don't hide this. They put it in their IPO prospectus. Why? Because it proves the leadership has virtue. It proves that when fortuna attacks, the leaders don't fold. In your own life, your failure is the most compelling part of your resume. It is the grit that makes people want to invest in you. Stop trying to erase the 15th century equivalent of a loss in the field. Start using it as your primary credential. The greatest joy of an enemy is to expose you, but you cannot expose a man who has already exposed himself. By integrating your failure into your identity, you strip your rivals of their greatest weapon: gossip. If you have already told the world how you failed and what you learned, what is there left for them to say? You have taken their ammunition and used it to build your own monument. Machiavelli would tell you that the best defense is to make the attack useless before it even begins. Your honesty about your failure is not vulnerability. It is a tactical, preemptive strike. The ruthless truth is this: a scar is the skin growing back twice as thick as it was before. Your failure didn't just teach you a lesson, it gave you a new skin. You are now tougher, denser, and harder to kill. But there is one final step. You have the map, the shield, the invisibility, and the authority. Now you must learn the final secret of the prince: how to ensure that you never have to start from zero again. Because the only thing better than surviving a fall is learning how to make the world fall for you. Tactic number 6, the dynastic lock. The final mistake the common man makes is thinking that once he is back on top, the war is over. He gets comfortable again. He thinks he learned his lesson. Machiavelli warns you, Fortuna is always watching. She hates a man who thinks he has won. To truly master your failure, you must use the strength you built in the ruins to create a system that makes future failure mathematically impossible. Machiavelli said that Fortuna is like one of those violent rivers which, when they are enraged, flood the plains and tear down trees. But when the weather is fine, men can prepare by building dams. Your failure was your flood. You now know exactly where the water rises. Tactic 6 is about total systematization. If you failed because of a bad partner, you don't just find a good one. You build a legal and social framework where no partner can ever hurt you again. You create checks and balances in your own life that assume people will be untrue, as Machiavelli promised they would be. You don't rely on good vibes, you rely on constraints. The core of Machiavelli's military advice was simple: never use mercenaries. Mercenaries are useless because they have no reason to die for you. They only want your money. Most people fail because they rely on mercenaries in their modern lives. They rely on a single social media platform they don't own. They rely on a single employer who doesn't care about them. They rely on experts whose interests don't align with theirs. To build unbreakable strength, you must own your arms. Own your platform. Own your skills. Own your distribution. Your failure taught you that when things get ugly, the mercenaries run away. Tactic 6 is the vow that from this day forward, your survival depends on no one but yourself. A prince is never more active than during a time of peace. He is out hunting, not for sport, but to learn the terrain. He is studying maps. He is questioning his generals. Now that you are rising again, you must adopt a state of strategic paranoia. You don't wait for the next failure to happen. You stress test your life. You ask, if I lost my main income tomorrow, what happens? If my reputation was attacked again, who are my allies? By constantly failing in your mind through simulation, you prevent failure in reality. You become the architect of your own stability. Remember Agathocles? Once he rose to power, he called a meeting of the Senate and the richest men in the city. Then he had his soldiers kill them all. I am not telling you to commit a crime. I am telling you to be socially ruthless. Now that you are powerful again, you must permanently eliminate the habits, the friends, and the mentalities that caused your first fall. If there is a person in your life who saw you fail and still treats you like that person, cut them out. If there is a habit that made you soft, kill it. Do not let the ghosts of your failure haunt your new palace. A new state requires new laws. In the modern world, this means diversification of your power base. You have multiple streams of income. You have social proof across different circles. You have a physical body that is as strong as your mind. You become anti-fragile. Like Hydra, when failure cuts off one of your heads, two more grow in its place. This is the ultimate Machiavellian goal: to reach a point where the world's attempts to break you only make you more powerful. Machiavelli's ultimate dream was a leader who could unite the fractured states of Italy and lead them to glory. Your fractured states are your shattered confidence, your lost time, and your old mistakes. Tactic 6 is the unification of these parts. You take the wisdom of the fox, the strength of the lion, and the scars of the fallen, and you fuse them into a single, unstoppable identity. You no longer fear failure. You welcome it as a test of your systems. You have reached the level of the unbreakable. You are the prince of your own life, and your kingdom is built on the only foundation that lasts: the hard, cold truth of reality. The ruthless truth is this: most people think failure is a hole they fell into. You now know that failure was the basement of the castle you are currently building. Every time they tried to bury you, they were actually planting you. The game is no longer about survival. The game is about expansion. You have the 6 tactics. You have the mind of Niccolò. But knowledge without action is the greatest failure of all. The kingdom is waiting. Will you take it, or will you let someone else sit on your throne? Niccolò Machiavelli died in 1527, but his spirit is currently standing right behind you, looking over your shoulder at your screen. He is not interested in your excuses. He does not care about your mental health day. He cares about your sovereignty. The world will continue to be a storm of fortuna. It will try to take your money, it will try to slander your name, and it will try to make you feel small. But as we have discussed, these are not attacks, they are donations. Every failure is a donation of data, strength, and immunity. A man who has never failed is a man who has never traveled. He is a child playing with toy soldiers. But you are a veteran of the psychological wars. You have seen the worst of yourself and the worst of others, and you did not blink. That steadiness, that cold eye, is the most valuable currency in the modern world. While everyone else is screaming and reacting, you are observing and calculating. Do not apologize for your comeback. Do not ask for permission to be powerful again. In the halls of history, mercy is a luxury for the victors, not a strategy for the rising. Be ruthless with your time. Be selective with your loyalty. And above all, be unapologetic about the new state you are building. You were not destroyed. You were merely unbundled so that you could be rebuilt into something that cannot be broken. The sun is rising over your new kingdom. The ruins are behind you, and the horizon is yours to claim. Most people will watch this video, feel a spark of heat, and then go back to their comfortable failures. They will let the vultures return. They will let the river of fortuna sweep them away once more. But you are not most people. You are the prince. You have the map of the scars. You have the shield of silence. You have the weapon of nothing to lose. Now go out into that world and make them wonder how a man they thought was dead has suddenly inherited the earth. I have given you the wisdom of the Florentine courts. The rest is up to your virtue. Go, rule, and never let them see you stumble again. The gate is open, but only those with the will to walk through it shall rule. Claim your seat at the table. If you have the virtue to turn your failures into fire, subscribe to this channel. We do not offer comfort, We offer the tools of dominance. Mark your progress. Leave a comment below. Tell me the name of the province you are currently reclaiming. Do not speak of your pain, speak of your plan. Distribute the intelligence. If you know a fellow strategist currently trapped in the ruins, send them this map. Build your alliance in the shadows. The time for mourning is over. The time for the great rebuilding has begun.